Hello everyone, welcome back to Night Call, where we are opening one eye. Your back aches, you'd like to close your eyes and go back to sleep. It's basically me every morning. You get up quickly, and a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 3. It would be cool working nights as a taxi driver. Be neat. So I guess the eyes are things I can observe and potentially get something that may be of use to the investigation, so why don't we check one of those out? It's points of interest, I believe. You slow down a bit. You've just been hit with a migraine. You crack your window. Icy Parisian air fills the cab. You need to rest. You need coffee. You need to close your eyes. Just a minute. One tiny minute. You don't need to sleep. You raise your head and you see yourself sitting in the back seat. A much angrier version of myself. Your gut clenches. No, it's more like someone is pulling your guts out. Yeah, I look like shit, I know. No surprise considering all the crap I eat, right? He smirks. Or maybe it's just a smile, you can't quite tell. I've just got one thing to say. It won't take too long. You'll be able to get back to defending the weak and the poor right after. And maybe cleaning up your reputation and that pretty face of yours. I wonder why I'm not in the driver's seat. You hear a knuckle crack, but neither of you budged. Frankly, it would just be easier for everyone. Another knuckle crack. If I were behind the wheel and you were in the back of my mind, of my conscience, a whole handful of knuckles crack, your shoulders quake. But no, that's not how this works. Let's not talk to him. He makes a whistling with his teeth. You remember the night when the judge... He rolls his eyes. What a stupid name. You remember the night I'm talking about? You nod slowly. Say it. Say you remember. It's important. No, let's just ignore him. We're not going to get anywhere, my dear, if you refuse to face the wounds of your past. For just a second, you think you recognize the voice. A woman. A friend's voice. Go ahead. His voice is grating, makes your head spin. Say you remember. I remember when the killer attacked you. You saw his hand. He was wearing gloves. Yes, he was wearing gloves, rubber gloves with talcum powder on them. I know what you told that bitch. I was there, you remember? I said he was wearing gloves. I'm not talking about his gloves, I'm talking about his hand. His hand. The rubber was torn and you saw something. He stares at you. God damn it, out with it, remember. It's not hard. His voice sounds compressed, compacted, smushed. The last syllable rings in your ears like a scream. You remember the gloved hand. The hall light shining. Wrinkles on his skin. You jump as a car flies by right next to the taxi and honks. You'd fallen asleep. After sitting still for a second, you start the car. But the image of that wrinkled hand haunts you. Okay, so he was a old person, I guess? I kinda want to pick up the kitty. I'm gonna pick up the kitty. Let's go and pick up the kitty cat. 2 young women. Escort girls cross the street in front of you, surrounded by a group of tipsy businessmen. Krauke. Yeah, I'm sure he'll pay the fare. You pull up to the sidewalk and wait for your passenger. So it looks like a no-show. You get out of the cab after a minute or two to smoke a cigarette. There's not much going on in the small town in the suburbs. There are a few apartments that still have lights on. A sweet scent hangs in the air. Eventually you stub out your cigarette and get back into the car. You jump, startled. A cat has managed to slip into the cab. It's sitting on the back seat, staring at you intently. You sit there for a moment, considering whether or not to shoo it away. Looks like the cat from Sabrina. The teenage witch. But just as you are about to wave your hand, the cat shifts positions and a slip of paper falls from its collar. Alright, let's not shoo away the kitty. You know, maybe it's an intelligent cat. Pick up the piece of paper and unfold it. A fragment of a map of Paris, the Saint Lazare train station. You turn your eyes slowly to the cat. He seems to be expecting an answer. Wow, this is, weird. Are you going somewhere? Cat tilts his head on the side, as if to say yes. You want to go to Saint Lazaire? Cat tilts its head again. Are you a dog? Cat slowly nods his head no. Your hands clutch the wheel tightly. What the hell is going on? Man, first we saw Santa Claus, then we saw some kind of weird Easter bunny, now we got a cat talking, well, not talking to us, but communicating with us. You turn around to face the cat. Okay, fine, I'll take you. You let out a sigh. Okay, fine. You start talking to yourself in low tones as if to balance the conversation. Normal? This is all perfectly normal. You start the cab, but cast a glance at the cat behind you. You're the one who ordered the cab? You start to laugh. A few minutes go by. You try to break the ice. Yeah, break the ice with this cat. Simple questions are probably best. Everything okay? Either a yes or a no, more of a plaintive meow. Are you running away from someone? Cat licks out a long, plaintive meow. Another cat. Your owner? Again, a long, melancholic meow. You nod your head. What happened? Was it a man? No answer. A woman? Was she mean to you? The cat seems to be uncertain, even though the model, or sprite, or whatever you would call these, nodded. She was overly affectionate? Cat lets out a string of insistent meows. Touché. That's it. She is too affectionate, and that's why you're running away? Cat's watching you with a steady eye. You are sure you're on the right track. You have to be careful with people like that. They suffocate you before you even know it. Our person is insane. They are sitting here having a conversation with a cat while driving it to a train station after it gave him a map. You nod your head. But you ran away. I meet lots of people like you. You stop short. But you are just a cat. Roll your eyes. Behind you, the cat lets out a quiet, reassuring meow. Yeah, man, you're not crazy as shit. Let's go on. Come on. We're already on our trip to Crazy Town. We might as well go the full way. What I mean is, well, we don't even know we are in a cage. We prefer not to think about it. We are never fully aware of it. You look at the cat. It must be crazy. I'm talking to a... Shake your head. Point to a light in the distance. That's Saint Lazaire. We'll be there soon. Maybe this is like Bleach, with that one character that can just turn into a cat. A few yards later, you stop at the drop-off area in front of the station. First train doesn't leave for another hour. Where are you going? The cat stares at you without making a noise. Let me guess. Saint Lazaire. If you were going to the suburbs of Paris, you wouldn't have needed to come into town. So somewhere in the northwest of France. Brittany? Passenger glares at you. Okay, right, not Brittany. Cat lets out a choppy meow. He wants to get out. Go on. Somewhere by the sea, huh? Cat is looking at you and meows. A sharp sound. Probably a yes. A very hungry yes. For the fish, I guess. You check the time on the dashboard. It's time to go. To get a real customer. You try not to think too much about the situation you're in, and you hope that no one sees you talking to a cat. Or, like, taxi driving a cat around, and then, like, you know, letting it off at its destination. Like, that would probably get some looks, too. Also, that kitty's not going to be very excited about walking out in the rain. I'll just start saying the name of cities and you meow when I hit the right one. You start to list cities in Normandy. The cat doesn't move a muscle. Cherbourg. Cat looks up. So is Cherbourg. Getting close. St. Malo. Still nothing. I've got it. Deauville. Meow of delight. You're smiling too all of a sudden. You're exhausted. Yeah, talking to a cat's hard. Okay, come on. Time to say goodbye. Get out of the cab and open the back door. A bill has appeared on the seat next to the cat. It is enough for the fare and more. Well, you are full of surprises, aren't you? I won't ask you where it came from. You smile and lean over to pet the cat. It leaps out of the car and darts between your legs. You can just make out its shape dashing up a flight of stairs and slipping between the bars of a gate. You You get back in the car. You look at yourself in the rearview mirror. Your features are heavy with fatigue, your right eyelid is twitching. As you start the car, you remember you are allergic to cats, but you haven't sneezed once. Pull out of the station. That wasn't a cat, that was some kind of creepy shape-shifting witch. Wow, we got a pretty shitty tip. He must have hated talking to us. Alright, now let's go observe. All these other people can wait. I got an investigation to do. 3 businessmen in impeccable suits are coming out of a nightclub. They shake hands and wish each other good night. Excuse me? I didn't get to see anything that happened there, and I did not click a button. Maybe it was just that thing about the businessmen. Okay, well, let's go over here, I suppose. There's a taste in your mouth. Iron, blood. 2 fingers on your lip let you know everything is fine. You shake your head. You pull your taxi, blah, 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 but what the hell? Give me some time to read. Jeez, what do you think I am? Not a speed reader. I'm not clicking anything. I don't know why it's advancing so quickly. That is odd. Well, let's go pick up our hobo friend again. It's a shelter for homeless people. When it gets too cold out, you bring Hervé here. I need a ride, cabbie. Wow, that is a long ride. Alright, Hervé. It's Hervé. He greets you with his bizarre verbal tick as usual. Hey, good to see you again, Jen. Hi, Hervé. Start the engine. Pretty cold tonight, right? His voice has a peculiar lilt to it, as if certain syllables were sung to stop him from stuttering. Hey, aren't you cold with your ass stuck to that car seat of yours? Man, I was just talking to a cat. Alright, don't mess with me. I'm crazy. No, I'm fine. I actually love the cold. Well then, enjoy, boy. I got a place to stay in Passy. Any way you can give me a lift? We're already driving, dude. Sure, of course. Great, great, mate. That way we can stay nice and warm. In the 15 years I've been on the street, it's never been this cold, I swear. You know, some guys aren't going to make it. Shit. That's how it goes for us. Yes. Now pause. His smell is gradually permeating the inside of the cab. It smells better than Santa. It doesn't bring back fond memories, but it doesn't bother you either. You'll leave the door open later on to air out the cab. But you know, I'm used to it, even before, sure. I don't think I ever told you, when I was a kid, I was never cold, old. Never. A weird, uneasy break. One time my mother dragged me to the Pyrenees during vacation. Didn't know what the hell to do with me. Liked to drink, you see. And the first night we were there, I broke the bottle of gin she'd brought along. Should have seen her, threw a fit, shit. She gave me a thrashing, but I gave as good as I got. That's how we used to talk back then. She ended up dragging me by my pants and locking me out on the balcony. Icicles were hanging from the eaves. It had snowed the day before, sure. I sat there for an hour, arms crossed, with like a cardigan on my back, Mac, and underpants on my ass. Captain Underpants. I didn't budge. She was storming around the apartment, my old lady was yelling at me, but I didn't hear nothing. And well, the cold didn't get me, see? Felt nothing at all, nah. Except for the frostbite. Wish I could say the same today. What happened in the end? Well, it got dark out. She let me in, did. She was furious all week. It was the last time we went on vacation together. After that, she died. Number up, yep. Pause. I used to tell my buddy Seb that story all the time, you know? The tall black guy who used to hang around with me? Yeah. Well, he really loved that story. He asked me to tell it to him over and over again. I don't think it was that good of a story. But I think what he really loved was hearing me talk about my old lady. You know what I mean? Doesn't make us any younger. Hey. Cab pulls up to the shelter in Passy. I thought that said pussy. Fuck. The last time I was here, there was a protest out front. Bunch of guys from the neighborhood who didn't want us to squat the place. They were yelling their heads off, sounded like a bunch of goddamn sailors. Yeah, sailors. So I guess even those rich dudes have balls. He exits the cab. Thanks, man. I know I can count on you. Good luck. He rubs his hand together and walks towards the shelter. Yeah, we didn't make shit, but Hervé's always fun. He's nice. Okay, let's see. I think you're on my list of people. And who is this way down here? Yeah, no. I think you're on my list. I might be crazy, though. Hello, person that may or may not be on my list. Salim Wadian, St. Owen. Yeah, I think he is on my list. You immediately recognize the passenger who just climbed into the backseat of your cab. His face has been plastered all over news for the last few weeks. He's a lawyer. A lawyer who is representing a terrorist. He gives you an address, and you start driving. He holds your gaze in the rearview mirror like he's trying to read your mind. That's not creepy at all. You drive across a virtually empty Paris. Behind you, the lawyer nervously consults his notes. Everything alright? He answers without looking up. Yes. Oh yeah, the thing cool people do when they want to look cool. You get the message and leave him alone. Continue driving without saying a word. Your passenger mutters, "Ugh, why did he say that to the cops? He's not taking this seriously. Doesn't get it. Idiot." There again, he says it again. Is he contradicting himself or just... Glance in your mirror. The lawyer looks like a smaller version of himself. Yeah, it must be pretty hard to defend a terrorist. Yeah, let's not say anything. Your eyes meet in the rearview mirror. You see him start to brake. I can't take it anymore. He takes a deep breath. He loses control of his voice. This guy is a real asshole. He's not just a monster, he's a total idiot. Tears form at the corner of his eyes. I've never seen such a moronic defendant. You know what it's like to defend a moron? You know what it's like to get only 3 hours of sleep a night so you can defend a fucking moron? Do you have any idea? He yells so loudly the windows shake. I'm sorry. When he answers, his voice is icy cold. No need to apologize. There's nothing to be sorry about. He pauses, barely, just the time to take a deep breath. Jesus effing Christ already. He kicks the seat in front of him. Hey dude, that's my fucking car. You better watch yourself. Jesus. He calms himself down. He steadies his breath. Jesus, man. You're a fucking lawyer. You don't know how much this taxi cost me. I'm just a taxi driver, man. Don't rough up my shit. I'm the one who agreed to it. I actually fought to represent him. It's my own damn fault I'm being dragged through the mud. Yeah, so why are you taking it out on my car? He raises his hand, snickers. Yeah, I admit it. At first I thought it was pretty great. Being on TV, all the interviews, journalists asking my opinion on everything. I shook so many hands, said so many words, sentences, yet I actually said nothing. When I worked in the hood, not a single person cared about my work. Now in 5 hours, I have to be on the radio, and 7 on TV. He pauses, breathes, his voice sounds further and further away. You should get some rest. He chuckles. Rest? No way. Actually, it's simple. I almost never sleep. When I lie in bed, I stare at the ceiling and go over the evidence in my head. He sits up. It's barbaric, disgusting, so horrific it's almost unreal. He lets out a sigh from somewhere deep in his body. And then I discover my client bought nails. The nails that were in the bombs, at the corner market, and he kept the receipt. Okay, yeah, that's pretty stupid. He kept the fucking receipt. Folded it in half and slipped it into his wallet. That's what I see when I close my eyes. Disemboweled bodies and a receipt for €2 worth of nails. Why? He raises his voice quite high. Why, for God's sake? He thought he could expense it when he got to heaven? He pauses. So stupid and so dangerous. He disgusts me. He revolts me. Well, I know why he defended him. There's no point in asking that. I'm just gonna say nothing. His fit of rage subsides. His fingers are shaking. When I signed on, I thought I'd be representing someone crazy. And I find out he's just a moron who's played too many video games. The guy has never even read the holy book they use to justify their so-called acts of martyrdom. He read a few passages online. Passages online. Do you have any idea what a complete moron he is? Yeah, I mean, you've told me that about 6 times now. He chuckles. I'm sorry. I am truly sorry. I shouldn't have said all that. Takes a deep breath. No, I get it, buddy. Shit's hard. I don't have anyone else to talk with about it. All the other lawyers avoid me like a plague. My mother can't understand why I'm doing this. She's so ashamed she went back to Algeria. He is shaking. I get the shame. What I don't get is when people just lump things together. I am not a terrorist. I am not a murderer. I don't know if I'd say he made the right choice, because he really only did this just for the fame. I'm just gonna let him go. He sighs and rubs his eyes. He looks like he's been crying. He starts talking again, in a much softer voice. We can hang him right here, right now, and no one, I'm telling you, would shed a tear. He stays quiet for a moment, catches your gaze. That's why I keep doing this. He slows his breathing. For equality. Our country was founded on it. These rights have been abused far too often for me to look the other way. His anger seems to be lifting. The taxi has almost reached his destination. In the back seat, the lawyer is much calmer. His voice is soft. I need to be reminded of this. This will serve as a lesson. He looks at you in the mirror and bores into you with his gaze. It's odd, isn't it? That I ran into you tonight. As if... No, forget it. You pull over, he pays his fare. Wait, don't take this the wrong way, but... He hands you another bill. Here, this is for you. For listening. For hearing what I had to say. Yeah, I definitely felt like in that situation that he really just needed someone to kind of vent to, so I really didn't need to offer my own opinions, really, and most of them seemed like they would just make him more angry. So I was just kind of, letting him get it all out. I'll take it. He's a fucking lawyer. I'm a taxi driver. You slide the bill into your pocket. He looks relieved, gathers his belongings strewn across the back seat, and he's getting out of the cab. You realize he left an envelope behind. For a second, one tiny second, you hesitate. It could be something important. You forgot something. He freezes, notices the envelope, and grabs it hastily. You can tell he's uncomfortable. He doesn't say another word. He gets out of the taxi, walks a few steps away, and turns around to wave at you before entering a bistro. You drive off. Hey, we made some dough. Alright, looks like it just saved down there, so I think that's a good spot to go ahead and end this episode off. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you next time.